This is great. Thanks a lot for coming out. I'm going to do some stories. Most of them come from the book, Kicking Through the Ashes. And this is a place that I've seen other people perform here, and I just love the vibe. I just love the intimacy. Everybody in here I know and pretty much knows each other. So it's that kind of like, full circle for me. I started off being funny in basements of my friend's house, and I've come full circle here tonight, So it feels right. Feels right. I come from, everybody I know as a comedian comes from a family that the comedy was valued. The funny was valued in some way. And my dad was funny. My dad was funny, and he loved comedy. I didn't realize how much he loved it. I knew he had comedy albums. He had all sorts of comedy albums. He had just, even ones in the back that were hidden. The Red Fox were hidden back there, but he had the ones out front. The First Family was the Kennedy parody back then, and he had all these comedy albums, Bob Newhart and Jonathan Winters. I knew he liked them. I used to play them in the daytime, because I'd hear my dad. I'd be at the top of the steps, and he'd be partying down there, and I could hear him laughing and like doing jokes, and then they'd listen to these comedy albums. I'd hear him laughing huge. I'd like trying to figure out what was the magic, what was making my dad laugh, because I didn't see him laugh a lot when I was around, but he was laughing then. And then I found out later that he used to go everywhere to see comedy. He used to go to a place called the Latin Casino in Cherry Hill, which was a nightclub, and he'd see people there like, Don Rickles, and he saw Moms Mabley. Then he'd go down to Club Harlem down in Atlantic City, and he saw Red Fox there, and he saw Dick Gregory there. I mean, he liked to go see comedians. So it was really important. And my dad he was a funny guy. I didn't really give it up to him when I was young, but I realized later he was a funny guy. I remember one time I was about 19, and I was out partying with my buddies, and I was in a bar, and I broke my foot. And I came home in the morning with a cast on my foot. And my dad was sitting at the table eating breakfast, getting ready to go to work. And I came through the front door with this cast on. He's like, "Hey, what happened to your foot, boy?" I was like, "I was dancing in a club, and some guy came down on my foot, and he broke it." He said, "Well, dance with women. They're lighter." So, you got to give it up,